this debate as Minister with responsibility for immigration. I will not speak for, certainly not for the whole 30 minutes, as you yourself, Mr. Speaker, and I commend the Member of Parliament for Christchurch East Central. East Central, yes. I mean, it's not often that a presiding officer praises a speaker. He has essentially covered all the areas, buttressed by the security expert of Parliament, the member for the city, because this debate has obviously implications both for on the economic side, in terms of fiscal certainty and improving our collection of duties at the port, customs duties, but also it has serious implications in terms of border security. And both of my colleagues here who have so far contributed to this debate, spoken eloquently on each of those matters. But I believe I should also take the opportunity to intervene as Minister with responsibility for immigration. As has been said by the Honourable Member of Parliament, Christchurch East Central, this legislation seeks to bring into line the provisions for submission of advance information as it relates to cargo entering Barbados with what we recently passed through this Parliament in terms of passenger advance information on passengers in January earlier this year. This is key, sir, in an age where security is so fundamental to a country's future and progress at national level, at regional level, and at international level, because the world, sir, is getting smaller and smaller every day. We are part of a regional system, sir, and our vulnerability is shown on a daily basis as small island states, part of a CARICOM member nationhood, sir, all intertwined with each other. Our borders are very susceptible to guns, sir, drugs, and other illegal processes. And in an age of technology, sir, the world becomes smaller and smaller each year in terms of accessibility of those who don't mean as well. So we can't look at issues as Barbados being an island unto itself, sir. We have to be concerned as a region in terms of security. And as both speakers have said and have emphasized, our regional security is paramount, and this has certainly been one of the focuses of the heads of government at recent conferences, especially with the accession as a head of government of the Honourable Prime Minister of Barbados 13 months ago, sir, as leader now of the CSME implementation. So, sir, we are addressing this fundamentally, and I'm proud to be part of a government that understands that this is a fundamental aspect of our development, that we don't only look at the economic side, sir, that we don't only look at the social advancement of our people, sir, but we also have to look at border security, national security, and protection of our people, sir. We all know that, look, we have a crime surge, sir, that none of us wish, and that all of us, both inside this Parliament, sir, and out of this Parliament, have to be concerned about, sir. Because all your socio-economic gains can be removed in a short time by criminal insecurity, sir. We've spoken about this many times in this Parliament since coming into office, sir. And we are fighting against a situation where, for the period between 2008 and May 2018, sir, what has been correctly termed the last decade, that the then government essentially surrendered itself to influx of illegal goods, cargo, whether it's guns, drugs, coming in through not only our main ports of entry, sir, but otherwise. Let's deal with the main ports of entry, sir, where you have a situation, as has been said both inside and outside this Parliament by Honourable ministers, that you're only screening 6% of the cargo coming into Barbados through the main port, sir. I mean, you look at the odds, sir. I mean, this is not a case of thinking that 20% is greater than 80%, sir. This is not even that case. This is 6% now we're dealing with of the goods being screened, sir. And absolutely unacceptable. You would have heard, sir, the public, we would have told the public that new scanner for the port costing millions of dollars, I think about $40 million, sir, has arrived, sir, and this, of course, will improve the systems of security, sir, because people still need the technology, the equipment to be able to do their job. And we as a cabinet, of course, with the responsibility, as I said, for the national security of the country, move to plug these holes, these obvious holes, these holes that should have been obvious to any executive, to any cabinet, led by responsible people, so elected by the people of the country, to have filled, but yet remained unfulfilled for, what, I think about 5 years, one scanner working at the port. Now we have the second, another one being repaired, sir. So these are fundamental issues, and this debate, sir, this amendment to the Customs Act, in addition to buttressing the economic grounding and regime of our country, as we have to do as a government, also seeks to enforce and strengthen the national security of Barbados, sir. The definition of advanced cargo information, of course, is stated in the amendment in Section 2, and it's wide. It means a manifest, an airway bill, a bill of lading, information, data, set out in the first schedule to the AXA, and the schedules, of course, set out all the data that is required. It intentionally follows, as I said, the advanced passenger information amendments to the Immigration Act, which we would have brought before this Parliament a few months ago, sir. Similar information is required on the issue. The data comprising the advanced passenger information is outlined in paragraph 3, sir, of the amendment. All the data that is required to comprise this information, sir, and all of this is fundamental to our advancement. A list of the passengers and crew on the aircraft or the ship which accompanies the cargo has to be given, and of course this information is submitted to the Joint Regional Communications Centre, sir, of which Barbados is a part, which in fact is based in Barbados, a regional organization, and they have the mandate, the expertise to process this information and to keep this information for a 7-year period, sir. 7 years is normally the period internationally whereby security information and other information of this type is kept by the relevant authorities. And of course, the Joint Regional Communication Center would have the responsibility of informing our intelligence agencies of any persons on any regional or international watch list of persons who are suspected or who have been involved in criminal activity on a previous occasion. This information will be conveyed to our intelligence agencies, sir. And of course, there are time frames before which this information has to be given before the ship or aircraft reaches Barbados or is expected to arrive in Barbados. And again, these time frames, sir, mimic to a very large extent the time frames which are provided for in the amendment to the Immigration Act on the APIS. 40 minutes information, data provided shall be provided in the case of a commercial aircraft no later than 40 minutes prior to the departure from the last port of call. In respect of a private aircraft, no later than 40 minutes prior to the departure from the last port of call. And in the case of a ship or aircraft arriving outside our domestic space, and our domestic space essentially is the CARICOM region, no later than 24 hours prior to the arrival. In the case of a ship or aircraft arriving from a destination within our domestic space, the CARICOM region, no later than 1 hour prior to the arrival. This is sufficient time, sir, for the JRCC to process the information and to inform our border security and national security authorities of a possible threat in terms of person traveling with the cargo. Sir, the Honourable Member for Christchurch East Central would have spoken to his personal involvement in looking at the Customs Department and touring there, sir. I mean, all of us have been given strong urgings by our leader, the Honourable Prime Minister, to roll up our sleeves and get involved. Don't leave these things to happen, chance. Up to yesterday, I would have, as part of my final tour of all the post offices in Barbados, visited the airport cargo area, sir, and would have spent some time there critically examining the processes involved in cargo coming into Barbados through the airport, the security that is dealt with, the security issues that are dealt with in terms of examining that cargo, sir, seeking to assure myself that there were no possible breaches in that, making recommendations for possible improvements, sir, because we all have to be sure. I mean, to err is human, sir, but we have to be as sure as possible within our means that we do not allow more guns, more drugs to come into this country than are in already, sir. Because this humbugging everybody, and this is not the way that we want Barbados to progress, indeed the way that Barbados can progress and move towards its rightful place in history and in terms of world leadership, especially in terms of small island developing states. So I'm satisfied that all of us are on board on this issue, sir, of national security. The goods that are in transit or to be transferred to another ship or aircraft for re-exportation shall be shown separately, sir, and distinct from those goods that will remain in Barbados having come in. The Act speaks, the amendments speak towards a fine, sir, $50,000 for breaches of this data information supply, sir. There's also provision for the authorities to be able to detain, the ship or aircraft if the data or information is incomplete or is not forthcoming, sir. And this is obviously in line with good governance, sir. But on the issue, obviously, of clearly of fiscal advancement and fiscal and governance and economic development, sir, the Honourable presenter today has spoken in terms of the importance of this and the place of what we're doing today in terms of our trade network as part of a global enterprise, sir, and the need for us to develop as an economy, as a country, sir, to improve our productive sectors and to totally facilitate Barbados as a trading station within both our region and the world. And this is important, sir. We've lost ground, as I said, sir, in the last decade, declining from number 72 in terms of ease of doing business to 133 out of 160 countries on May the 24th last year, the date of the election, sir. We've improved slightly, sir. I believe we went up to 129 by the end of last year. Sir, I'm sure that by the end of this year, with the procedures, processes, the initiatives that we're taking, sir, in customs, in immigration, in licensing authority, corporate registry, all of the departments, sir, that quite frankly, sir, it was embarrassing to go there and seek to do business. You have to take a whole day off of work up to last year, and even continuing, sir, to do business with these departments, sir. But we are working on these, sir. We ask the country to be patient with us. I know at immigration, sir, as we speak, the Honourable Minister in the other place for Innovation, Science and Technology, again taking a hands-on approach. She's been at immigration quite a bit, sir, with her team and of both locals and international experts, looking to improve the systems at immigration, sir, in terms of the digitalization of the process and all of that. So customs has to be and will be part of this as well, because we all know the difficulty that it was, sir, to deal with customs, to get goods out of the ports, sir, especially at Christmas, when, you know, relatives from overseas send down stuff to us at Christmas, of course, and it has to be done, sir. Customs will improve, sir. The Honourable Member presented this debate, spoke about the initiatives that are being done under his mandate to improve the customs sector, sir. Training is a key aspect, sir. And Your Honour, you and your wisdom, of course, pointed that out to the Honourable Minister. Training is a key aspect, and clearly not much training was done in customs and to their officers over that last decade period. And therefore we have to make up ground now, sir. Clearly those on the front burner have to have knowledge of information technology, accounts, statistics, these kind of skills, and not only have, you know, ordinary clerical skills. This is important. They have to be given the information, sir, allowed to grow and be given the opportunities. It is not always, sir, and I think sometimes government with a big G, sir, has failed our people in this regard, that the public servants, the public officers have not been trained in the processes surrounding their work as could have been done, sir. And, you know, I suppose previous governments or governments might have said at various times that the finance not there, sir, but the cost of not training officers is greater than training them, sir. That is the truth. So this government, I'm happy to say, sir, recognizes that with all that we're doing, sir, and having found a bankrupt economy, virtually a bankrupt economy, coming into office May last year, sir, we still realize the importance and the significance of finding funds to train those who are in the public service, especially in key areas, sir, such as customs. And this is being done, sir. This will be done. Of course, sir, we look forward as the Honourable Member for Christchurch East Central said is being done to reform of the Customs Department and to institutional strengthening of that department, sir. Key aspects, sir. The department is too important for this not to be done in terms of institutional strengthening at the human resource level and the technology level, sir. And of course, the Honourable Prime Minister, who ultimately has overall ministerial mandate for the department, sir, would have 2 or 3 months ago created a new position referred to earlier in this debate of Customs Officer 4, sir, and which I'm sure, which in fact was an initiative that the trade union representatives of the customs officers would have been asking for a while before. The issue clearly of acting appointments, sir, in the Customs Department has to be addressed, not only in the Customs Department, sir, but throughout government, sir, and we recognize this. I mean, the Honourable Member spoke about the head of the department being someone in an acting position for well over a decade, sir. I mean, we can't continue along this line in terms of government, sir. And in my ministry, which of course comprises a lot of internal affairs department, post, fire, immigration, especially, sir, on a daily basis, I am asked when this particular issue is going to be sorted out. Of course, the issue of the qualification order which the previous government brought in 2015 or 2016 has even complicated this matter even more, sir. That is the truth. And it lies to us to again sort out this problem that has emerged. That, you know, the last government, sir, on that point, I'm not going to say that they did it with malice, sir. I think they didn't understand the implications of what those qualification orders would mean for a public service of, what, 27,000 people at that time, sir. And it has complicated issues throughout many of the departments, sir. And happy to hear that the issue of the acting appointments in customs at certain levels is being seriously looked at, sir, but clearly not only in customs does this have to be done, but throughout the length and breadth of the civil service, and in particular, sir, in the Ministry of Home Affairs. So, sir, I said I will not take up the full 30 minutes, sir. I'm a man who likes to keep my word, sir, and certainly I am in full support, sir, and happy to be part of this debate, sir, on this important point, both in terms of buttressing our fiscal and economic governance and tax collection mechanisms, sir, but also our border and national security regimes. I'm obliged to you, sir.
Member for...
Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that the sitting be suspended until 1:45 p.m.
The question is that this will be suspended until 1:45 p.m. this afternoon. All members in favour say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. This House is now suspended until 1:45 p.m. But before we go to lunch, I would just like to acknowledge my buddy and friend, boyhood friend, Bull Holman Adamson. Thank you. House is now suspended until